What's up, guys? JB here with Iconic Mods, and as you can tell, I'm in my new studio. Yeah, I know it's been a minute and things have changed quite a bit since the last time you guys have seen me, especially in this particular space right here. And especially since the last time I've done a setup tour, which is back in 2018. I've got a lot more space now as we're in the new house, and things are gonna look way different. Now, by no means is this setup done or complete in any way. Still a lot of work to be done, but it's at a point now where I feel like I can actually utilize it and record and make videos for you guys, which this is the first of many. So I figured let's do the setup tour now, and we'll do another one later on as some revisions take place. But I have a question for you guys before we get started, which is the accent color on the wall back here. I painted it teal to start off with, but I'm not sure if that's exactly the route I want to go. I've also considered white as another option, but I figured I'd leave it up to you guys. So I'll post a poll on Twitter and I'll drop a link in the description below and you guys can vote on it. And let me know what you think. Should I stick with the teal or should I go with white? I'm trying to make things a little bit different from everybody else. So I figured I'd spice it up a little bit. But let me know your thoughts. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into the video. Alright guys, so I figured the best way to do this video is vlog style. So I'm going to give you an overall shot of the setup itself, and then we're going to start the tour working around a little bit. I figured we start over here on this side of the room. This is the side that gets used the absolute least amount of time. It's really just storage for parts and all kinds of other stuff. This is still my garage, so I do use it to store some house stuff, but for the most part, it's mostly computer stuff, as you can see here. Got a new motherboard sitting over here that just came in. I got some parts over here that need to be reviewed. Some other parts for building a new rig and all that good jazz, which the rig is already built, kind of, sort of, but it's going to get swapped up. So I got some soundproofing foams here that I'm going to mount. I just haven't quite figured out exactly where I want to put them up yet, which is why I haven't put them up yet. This is actually a box full of sweatshirts and all kinds of other stuff that I use for my workflow. A lot of you know I have my embroidery business that I'm running, so part of my studio is used for that, and we'll get to that part later. Yeah, I got a pair of J's in the back, don't worry about those. This is the newest addition to my setup, which is the Secret Labs Titan XL chair in charcoal and black. This is a pickup that my wife got me for my birthday back in December. It came in a few weeks ago because it was a pre-order thing, and I absolutely love it. It is truly phenomenal, the difference in comfort that I get out of this versus the old chair, which you'll see the old chair later on in the video. But let's move it along. So first things first, I've got the desk mounted on top of some Alex drawers. This is a custom made desk. I built it myself. It took me about 2 or 3 weeks off and on, putting in some nights and some weekends and stuff like that to get it done, but I finally got it finished. The top, the countertop is a Carlby countertop from IKEA. This is the long one. This is like 94 inches or 98 inches, something like that, something crazy. And then the top part of the desk up here is another Carlby desk that was the shorter one. It was a 74-inch one that I actually cut in half and used it to make a riser slash monitor mount, I guess you would say. I wanted to have some free desk space, and I didn't want anything hanging on it, but I also wanted the shelf. Actually, this is, believe it or not, this is actually a mimic from a desk setup that I had saw on PC Part Picker back about 2 years ago. A guy had custom built something very similar, almost identical to this, and I was like, dude, I need that in my life. So it took me a while, like I said, to get it together, but this is my version of it. Mine is a little bit different from his. I know it might be, you might be able to see it like right here in the middle of the desk running, but it is actually has a river strip, an epoxy river strip right in the middle of the desk that I had put in. So yeah, that's that. So now that we've gotten the overall gist of everything, let's go ahead and look at it, everything up close, and then we'll go from there. So starting on this side over here, we have a display, a wood display piece that I'm gonna use for whenever I'm reviewing something, putting a product box over here or whatever the case may be, just something to kind of show it off in the background. So nothing major there. Now these are some Philips headphones. I use these for a lot of times, just like if it's people in the living room or whatever the case may be, and I don't want to disturb anybody or something like that. I use these to listen to music or game or whatever the case may be. And I have those sitting on top of, I don't remember the exact model number, but these are the ones that Random Frank P has been referring to forever in his videos. He loves them. I've gotten them. I think I paid $50 for them, and they are phenomenal for the price. I absolutely love them. The sound quality is mwah. Now, I have those plugged into a FireCuda DAC right here, which I have mounted on top of my Razer Chroma headphone stand, because, you know, it's Razer, baby, gotta have it. Next to that, I have my Astro C40 controller for gaming purposes, of course. I don't get to use that very much because most of the games that I play don't require that, but I have it for the games that do, when I do some racing games or something like that. And because, you know, you never know what's coming out in the future. Now, below that, I have some Patron and a shot glass. I collect shot glasses. You guys know that from the last video. The Patron is really for decoration. You never know. It might be a break-in case emergency situation. Who knows? Next to that, I have my Gatorade, because you got to have some fluids on your desk at all times to keep you hydrated. Behind that, right here below the monitor, if you can see it, is my Logitech G560 speaker set, which is the base of audio in my setup. I use that when I'm ready to just rock out and jam. If I'm working and I'm in my workflow, I listen to music a lot. So that's for that. You know, I got my thump, got the subwoofer underneath of the desk down here. And I'm sorry for the sniffling. I'm getting over a cold. But moving along, right here, I have my iPad, 12.9 inch. And I have that sitting on top of a Razer laptop stand, the Chroma laptop stand, because I needed something to prop it up, and I wanted something that was going to fit in with my setup. And since my entire setup is pretty much Razer, yeah, so that's that. The Chroma matches up with the lighting with the rest of the setup, so it's pretty dope. Right next to that, I have a fan, which I think was in my last video as well. Just something every now and then you want to keep cool, have that little blast of air on your face, cool you off. So I have that, and below that I have the same little teddy bear that had for years. One of my daughters gave that to me years ago that says Dad in the front of it. So that's cherished, and I keep it. Next to this is my Razer Phone 2 charging dock. Now I use this, I know I have an iPhone 11 Pro, which is what I'm using to record this video right now, and it charges it just fine, no problems. It does have to be in landscape mode for it to charge, but it works. Now I'll say the one thing that I do not like about this charger is the fact that it does not link in with the rest of the Chroma devices as far as the lighting goes. It's completely separate. It's run off of a phone app, but so when the rest of my setup changes colors, I have to manually go in on my phone and change that. It's a little bit annoying. I really wish it matched in with the rest of the Chroma stuff, but you know, it is what it is. Hopefully that's something they can fix in the next revision. Over here, another shot glass and a small bottle of tequila, because again, you never know. Right here I have a little wood bowl that I keep like my USBs in and thumb drives and other little knickknacks that, you know, you got to keep handy as a tech person. Next to that is my old Astro A50 headset. I actually had gotten an upgrade to this. I picked up a brand new pair, but it was defective, and I had to take it back, and I decided not to get another replacement because this was working fine. I was like, you know, what's the point? but now the battery on this is like beyond like shot. So it is definitely time to replace this joint because I only get like an hour out of them before the battery dies. So they gotta go and get replaced. Let's see here. This is my DVD player, my Blu-ray / DVD player, because you never know when you feel nostalgic and you want to go watch some Blu-rays. Like, yeah. On top of that, I have this dad thing. Again, something else that my kids got me years ago, and I just kind of keep it. And right here, I have my Beats Pro wireless headphones. And I love those things. I always grab them when I'm on the go. That's why I keep them right here on my desk. Whenever I'm just like heading out and I need them, they're right here, readily available. I just grab them and go. Right above that, on both sides of the monitor, as you guys saw earlier, I have these IKEA globe lamps on both sides, and I have a RGB bulb in both of those. However, it's just a standard RGB bulb that's controlled via a remote control. And I'm thinking about replacing that with a Philips Hue because the Philips Hue lights actually tie in with the Razer Chroma software. So I think that would be kind of dope when I change the Razer Chroma lighting. Those would change as well easily with that. So yeah, that's something I'm probably gonna do later on. But they work for now. They get the job done because I kind of keep my setup in a static color, so it works. Right here, I've got my Samsung CJ 43-inch super ultra wide monitor. It's 120 hertz, and I love this monitor. I absolutely love it. I use it for everything. It's for productivity. I use it for gaming. I use it for content consumption and everything else. It gets the job done for sure. I thought about possibly going up to a 49-inch, but honestly and truly, this 43 inches, like, it hits the sweet spot for me personally. It's not too big, it's not too small, it's just right. So I don't really see a need for me to go up any bigger than that. It actually does what I needed to do. And like I said, my new graphics card pushes it at 120 hertz now, so I'm good to go. Right on top of that, I have my Logitech C920 webcam that I use for, or I used to use for streaming. But as you can see right above that, right here, I have my ring light with a quick release mount right in the middle of it. And that's because I plan on using that to replace the C920 for when I start streaming, which is something I'm planning on bringing to the channel real soon. I'm gonna have that run into an Elgato Cam Link that runs into my computer. So I'm gonna use my Sony camera to mount up there for that. Right behind that, you know, you got to have it in your setup. You just gotta have the lights, man. You know, so I've got the lights here and all that, so it's good to go. Then above that, I've got my Funko Pop collection here. So I don't have those display cabinets. They actually have LEDs in the top of them that light up, which, you know, I'll do a little montage at the end of the video so you guys can see everything lit up at night, so you can kind of see what I see. But yeah, it's my little collection. I've got more Funkos, but I didn't want to get a ton of those displays, so I just put the ones that I feel are most pertinent to me up there, you know, add a little personality to it. And I'm gonna do some more stuff on the walls. I just haven't figured out what I want to do yet, but yeah, that's that. So moving along, right here, this is the Yeticaster setup. I'm gonna be doing a review on the Yeticaster setup real soon, but this is the Yeticaster boom arm that goes in. It's mounted to the back of the desk. I can just pull it over. Whenever I decide to start streaming, I can just pull it over right here and turn, you know, adjust the mic how I want. However, this is not the mic that came with the Yeticaster setup. This is the Yeti X. It was a Yeti Pro X or something like that, the new mic that just came out. The Yeti that came with it, my wife actually uses for when she does her YouTube videos. But I wanted this new one here for, you know, when I start streaming. So I picked that one up, and it worked out because, like I said, my wife uses the other one now, so no big deal. And then we get to the heart of my primary rig here, my primary setup, which is my rig. Now this is, if any of you have seen some clips that I've posted on Twitter, you've seen some shots of this right here. I haven't pulled the plastic off the case yet because I'm actually got to rebuild it, which is why that motherboard was sitting over there on the other side. I had some issues with a defective motherboard, so I have to rebuild the rig, and when I do, I'm going to do a whole video on that. So when I do that video, then I'll pull the plastic off. But right now it is a 3950X, and it is rocking a 5700 XT Liquid Devil GPU. So yeah, that's that. It's completely water cooled, using soft tubing, of course. So that right there in a nutshell. And let me get you guys a close-up video of the river that's on the desk. So yeah, that in a nutshell is the most part of the desk. So now we'll jump into the peripherals that I have over here, which is, this is the Razer Huntsman Elite, but this is the red switches, not the purples. I had the purples originally, and then I decided to switch off and get the reds because of the silentness, and it was a good choice for me personally. Over here, this is the Razer Bacillus Ultimate. I was gonna get the Viper Ultimate. Actually, I did get the Viper Ultimate first, and then when this came out, I decided to get this instead and go with that as my daily driver. And for me, again, that was a good choice because the heavier mouse kind of suits my game style a little bit better, my gameplay. And I have that all sitting on top of the Razer Goliathus extended Chroma mouse pad, which I know you guys seen that in the last video as well. So that is the rough draft of my primary setup. Like I said, so you guys, this will be the backdrop of my videos coming from now on, just to give you guys a little something to see. So that is the productivity / gaming side of my setup. So now we're going to switch over to the workflow side, because I do have a second side to my setup. So over here, this is kind of just like shipping boxes and all that stuff for UPS. I don't have a legit heater in this joint yet in the garage because the mini splits are really expensive to get installed. It's like a couple grand. That's something I'm probably going to do later on down the line, later on this summer. But for right now, this heater, believe it or not, this little ceramic heater, after about an hour, I'm ready to usually turn it off because I'm starting to sweat in this joint. It cranks out a ton of heat, so it gets the job done. Now, next to that is the pride and joy of the workstation, which is my commercial grade Melco embroidery machine. A lot of you know me as Crafty Cuts Embroidery. You're starting to order stuff from me now, which is pretty dope, on Twitter. So I do a lot of embroidery work with this joint, and it gets the job done. As you can see, I stitched out my logo here. This is a while back, but I just kind of keep it just for nostalgic purposes. So yeah. So this is my workflow setup. As you can, my old chair, my old gaming chair. You guys have seen this a ton in old videos and all that. Nothing special about it. So we'll just roll that out of the way here so we can see what's going on. Over here, we got my hoops for the embroidery stuff, and I have a Cricut machine right here for vinyl cutting and doing other stuff like that. This is basically, if you've seen my old video, you've seen a lot of this stuff that's in the workstation. It's pretty much the same setup. I just kind of moved it over here when I rebuilt the new rig and did the new setup. So it's a 24-inch monitor. I'm thinking I might replace that later. I'm not sure yet, but yeah, it's just for work, so it's no big deal. I have my JBL Pebble speakers here because, you know, you gotta have some audio, dude, no matter what. Now this setup here is completely opposite of the other one. This one is actually a full Corsair setup. So I've got the K95 Platinum keyboard. I've got the Corsair Scimitar mouse. I've got the Corsair headphone stand. I think it's the ST100. I'm not sure. On the ST100 stand, I've got my Audio Technica. I think these are the 30 headphones. I'm not sure, but I don't really use those, so they kind of are just there for looks for the most part. They work just fine, but yeah, I use the other setup when I'm listening to music, so you know, that's that. And I know you guys remember Bumblebee, right? Yeah, Bumblebee, good old Bumblebee. Bumblebee is rocking my, what is he rocking? A 2700X CPU and an R9 380 GPU, because this is a workstation setup. I don't really need GPU power. It's just for visual, so I can see what the heck is going on when I'm stitching out stuff. So it doesn't need to be super powerful. So it works like that. I don't see me needing to swap out the GPU or anything unless it dies. But other than that, yeah, that's pretty much that's it for this part of the setup. I do have these glass. These are actually glass. What do you call them? Chalkboards, I guess, or whatever it is, or whiteboards. Dry erase. That's what it is. These are glass dry erase boards from IKEA. They discontinued them, so but you write on them with dry erase markers and then wipe them off. So I'll be using that for keeping track of orders I have to do and stuff like that. Then over here, another pegboard with some utensils on it and stuff like that. Nothing major. Now over here in this box, if you've been following me on Twitter, you'll know what's inside this joint. Inside this box is my Shape Oppo 3 XL CNC machine. Now, I'm still learning how to use this joint. I haven't quite mastered it yet, but once I do, I'll be rocking it out quite a bit. You'll see a lot of stuff with case modding and other stuff that'll be going on with it. But for right now, it gets used very seldomly until I master how to use it and design stuff properly for it. So yeah, that's that. Now above it, this is kind of where I keep my new slider that I got, just because it keeps it up and out of the way, and it is big enough for me anyway. This is a newer battery powered slider, and it does buttery smooth footage, as you'll see in, you might see it in this video. I haven't figured out exactly what B-roll I might use for this, or you'll see it in the build video for my rig. But I have a Z-mount on it for getting the proper shots when I need to and all that, and that is awesome. And of course, you know, I got that quick release plate. You gotta have the quick release plate. So that's that. So let's see, what else we're gonna show you guys. Okay, so in this box here, I have a heat press. It's a commercial grade, large, supersized heat press. I haven't quite figured out what I'm gonna do, where I'm gonna put it really. It's not so much what I'm gonna do with it, but where I'm gonna put it. I'm thinking about getting another table and putting it closer to the door, and then moving this table forward. Because this table that it's sitting on, I actually use the slider on when I'm doing slide footage. I use that and slide it closer to this main table over here for when I'm doing displays and stuff like that. So this is when I'm doing reviews. I use this table here, which is another IKEA Carlby top. And I think this is a 74-inch one. And I use this table right here which is actually my old desk. I use that to put the slider on, and whatever other stuff I'm gonna need to use for that video sits on top of that. Let's see. Here I have my Deity D3 Pro microphone, which I always use Deity products for doing my audio. I'm actually using the VLav right now to record this video. But I have that on a boom arm, which usually sits right above my head, just out of frame whenever I'm, sitting in front of whatever the backdrop or whatever it is. That's usually what I'm using 90% of the time, 95% of the time. It's just out of frame above my head, which is why the audio sounds so crispy. And then I have this bad boy, which is, yes, this is what I've been wanting for quite a while. I am part of Team Sony, baby. You know it. I have that sitting on my tripod, but this is the A6600, and I've got the Sigma 16mm lens on that, and that's what I use as my A-roll camera and B-roll camera majority of the time. But in situations like currently right now, I use my phone to record certain parts of stuff. So that's that. This down here, if you see, that is a shop vac with a Cyclone setup, and that is primarily to catch dust and stuff for the CNC machine. But yeah, so that's that. But yeah, man, that's. Oh, one last thing before we end this video is my lighting situation. Now, Greg Salazar did a video not too long ago where he posted up his lighting that he did in his new house, where he had these lights that he had bought and mounted, these LED lights, because I had a massive Godox light before, and I had the huge, you know, softbox to go on top of it, which is sitting over there. I've actually got to return the softbox, but the light took up way too much space with the softbox on it, and I needed something that was gonna still get really good lighting, but kind of be up and out of the way. So when he posted this video, I was like, boom, I need that. So swap the Godox out for these. I have them mounted to the ceiling, kind of like he did. I haven't done super duper good cable management with him yet, but it's out of the way for now, so it gets done. And that's my primary lights. This light right here is also from IKEA. I think it was like $7, and that's just to light up the table. So when I do embroidery work and stuff, I can kind of see what I'm doing better and all of that. But so yeah, man, this is it. This is the setup. This is what you guys will be seeing as a backdrop from now on in the videos. And if you like what you see, don't forget to leave a like, a share, and a subscribe. I got more content coming from you guys' way in the future. And yeah, I'm JB with Iconic Mods, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.